In the winter of 2019, I began reading Jibuku Shonen Hanako-kun, or more well known to the English audience, Toilet-bound Hanako-kun. I'd seen the trailer for the upcoming anime, and it had caught my interest. The art style was incredibly different from other shows these days, and it stood out to me, and so on a cold December evening, I began reading. I didn't put it down until I'd finished it. That was the first time I'd read manga in a while at that time, and by God was it a good reintroduction to manga as a whole. I loved all of the characters. I love Hanako's childish perverseness and his sudden bouts of seriousness that look so out of place in a character who looks as young as him. I adore Yashiro and her naivety and over-eagerness for love that leads her to some rather strange situation. And Ko's such earnest kindness towards others and sincere desire to protect despite his obvious inexperience in such an area is absolutely endearing. There's not a single character that I dislike. I find them all too interesting. Aoi, Teru, Akane, Mitsuba, and Tsukasa Yugi. Tsukasa can best be described as odd. He's the younger twin brother of Hanako, or better put, Amane. He's clingy, possessive, violent, and cruel. His main victim has always been Amane, from what is shown throughout the series, though he seems to torment Mitsuba fairly thoroughly these days, since Amane, now Hanako, is rather out of reach at the given moment. Amane references Tsukasa's violent temper in Chapter 38, and given he'd mutilated Mitsuba into a horrifying monster through manipulating his rumor, which led to the original Mitsuba's demise, he doesn't exactly have the best record for being kind, in any sense of the word. However, what if Tsukasa Amane had killed with his knife when they were 14, wasn't actually the true Tsukasa at all? This is a question that has been presented to the readers in Chapter 78, The Red House, Part 3. The young Tsukasa who is cursed to remain in the Red House with Ko, is with Ko, and he recalls something that could very well flip our entire perception of Amane and Tsukasa onto its head. Tsukasa and Amane are nearly 4, and Amane is born with an incredibly weak constitution. Tsukasa is left to play entirely on his own in the garden. He overhears a conversation between his mother and his brother's doctor. Amane is not getting any better, and the doctor isn't even sure he'll live another month. He's too weak and ill. It'd be nothing short of a miracle for him to survive at this point. Except, he does. Their 4th birthday arrives, and the two brothers are bouncing around happily. Their photo is being taken, eating cake and donuts to celebrate their big day. There's not even a single sign of the previous ailment, despite its severity. Tsukasa is called away by a sinister voice, and he follows it into their playroom, and amidst the toys is a gaping pit in the floorboards from which the mysterious voice calls for him. Tsukasa approaches without fear as the monster speaks of his wish that he had made come true. It tells him to pay his price, the sacrifice, and he does, climbing into the pit and disappearing within, saying his goodbyes to his now healed big brother as he disappears into the darkness. As Amane comes inside, peering around an empty room with an entirely intact floor, Tsukasa has disappeared with the voice. The 4-year-old Tsukasa is gone, and he's never left the Red House since. But if Tsukasa has been gone since he was 4, then who had been with Amane since? Who had he killed? Who was the ghost that grants wishes to other supernaturals? In all honesty, this was not a question I had ever expected to be asking myself. These two Tsukasas seemed to be two entirely different entities. The young Tsukasa loves his brother, wants him to be safe, healthy, and happy, and was willing to go so far as to sacrifice himself in the place of his brother to protect him from illness. Meanwhile, the ghost Tsukasa, who he had grown up with, is temperamental and violent, and twists his love into something he can hurt Amane with. Amane didn't kill his brother. He killed the being that is pretending to be him, that even after Amane had lashed out and killed it, even if it's even truly dead, it still follows him, intent on causing harm to him. In the true Tsukasa's love for his older brother, he saved his life by sacrificing himself. And in an unintended side effect, a monster pretending to be him latched onto him to torment him. The true Tsukasa's act of love and kindness is all for naught, because 10 years later, Amane has presumably killed himself after killing the fake Tsukasa, who had spent the majority of his life tormenting him. Tsukasa's sacrifice was never even known to Amane, as instead he had learned to fear his younger brother. What this monster had done, perhaps it was the voice from the floor that had stolen Tsukasa's identity, or something entirely different. Whatever it is, what was done here was cruel. Nothing was truly gained for Tsukasa or Amane. No good came of the deal, only extended torment on Amane's side. Tsukasa's kindness was used to hurt him. So, who or what is the Tsukasa we've known all this time? In the end, this is all speculation on my part, my own interpretation of the latest chapter and what it can mean for the story as a whole. I think Toilet-bound Hanako-kun is about to change. I'm interested to see how such a revelation that I honestly doubt anyone had seen coming is going to bode for the story. Thank you for watching. This is my first time making a video of this sort. In fact, I'm writing this script entirely on a whim. I really adore Toilet-bound Hanako-kun deeply. I have for about 2 years at this point, along with ID Hero's work as a whole. Honestly, I may make a video about Dear My Living Dead. Anyway, if you like this video, please do give it a like, and comments are very, very appreciated. I'm not sure how many people will enjoy this, but if you have any other topics you'd like me to cover, other manga or anime, please comment what it is. See you in my next video.